Kreepers. It is a very strange and unusual weather day here in Portland, which makes perfect for today's vlog. How the heck are you, crazy creeps? We are in Southeast Portland today. As you can see, I'm standing here in front of Reed College, and the reason why I'm here today is really cool. In fact, the more I went down the, quote-unquote rabbit hole, the more I really enjoyed this. We were here not too long ago for another famous alumni from here, Steve Jobs. But there was also another very famous and very talented, yet weird and kind of a, I don't know, maybe eccentric, I guess, or unusual guy by the name of Barrett Eugene, well, his friends knew him as Barry Hansen, born April 2nd, 1941, and you may remember him, or do remember him, as Dr. Demento. That's right, the weird radio host actually graduated here from Reed College, and we're standing right here on the campus at Reed College, which, anytime I do these vlogs, I always love the connections to Portland. And he got the nickname Dr. Demento by a friend of his after he played a kind of different and unique, really catchy style song you may remember as well. And the main lyrics were, "They're coming to take me away, haha, they're coming to take me away." And when he was going here to the school, he hadn't had his nickname dubbed yet, but there was a radio station here for many of years called KRRC that he was very, very fond of and a very much part of. And in, through 1955, this station ruled the college airwaves. Unfortunately, in 2011, the radio station was no longer, just due to, airwaves and different radio stations coming about. But at one point, this had all of this Southeast Portland area with their ears tuned in to the radio to hear all of Dr. Demento's really odd and strange records, anywhere from Frank Zappa, to a man you may know as well by the name of Weird Al Yankovic. That's right, Dr. Demento not only went to school here, but years later received a, I believe at the time was a cassette tape, could have been a record, but it was a recording rather, of a then 16-year-old Weird Al Yankovic. That's right, the accordion kind of odd curly-haired guy gave Dr. Demento one of his cassette tapes, and Dr. Demento played it at the time. He had a radio show in LA after he left Reed College here, but it basically helped pave the way for Weird Al. And then fast forward years later, he actually featured Demento in UHF, one of my favorite movies, starring Weird Al Yankovic and a ton of other folks, which was hilarious, still is to this day, one of my favorite kind of like weird 80s movies. But to keep Portland weird and keep Portland strange, the radio station here featured, like I said, just a ton of different records that he would spin. And at the time, he actually was able to just bicycle around Portland and buy weird records. There was a ton of, well, there still is a ton of record shops all over Portland here, and he would basically just ride his bike all throughout Southeast Portland and obtain really strange records, and then he would spin them on his show. So it gave the name to a bunch of people that hadn't been heard yet, and people really liked it because, back then they were used to just one station playing one type of music, and he didn't limit himself to certain music. He played all genres and all types, and his kind of niche was he would play things that were just really unusual and strange. So I found that to be so cool. And then as I dug a little bit farther down the rabbit hole, oh, not to mention there's a ton of these geese over here right now, these Canadian geese. But as I dug down the, you know, rabbit hole and learned more, I realized that he actually obtained his physical education's credit here at the school as well, by basically accounting all the hours that he spent on his bicycle riding around town looking for different, you know, strange and unusual music that people hadn't heard yet. So he actually got his credits for physical education just by riding around Portland and collecting weird records. I thought that was so cool. But we're gonna go try and see where the old radio station is here. I believe they gave away, you know, most of the equipment on the insides. There was a giant library with a ton of records and studio. Obviously it was a recording station, radio station rather. So a ton of, you know, equipment. But I believe if we find where it was, I can do my best to kind of match up some of the shots as well as to where the radio station once was and where all the really odd and cool strange music came from. And also I believe it was either in front of this building here or maybe a little bit down farther behind us. There is an interview with Dr. Demento, and I believe they're walking right up here, and he's talking with another gentleman that filmed him. I believe it was like back in 2011, so it's been quite some time. But I think they're leaning up against maybe this tree here, because I think I remember seeing the art piece back in the back and some of these lamp poles. But if you look closely, they're actually interviewing him here, talking about working here at the radio station and how much he loved it and how much it really helped, you know, his future career.
And, you know, I love Reed. I'm very proud to be a graduate of the place.
So I think we're in the right place, because I'm noticing all these flyers here for the radio station, the KRRC. Support your local source of student-run freeform radio. They're all along here. And some of the old-timey pictures that I saw were these like checkered style windows. So I'm wondering if it was in one of these buildings here. To school here. Well, he graduated here, but he also did a radio show in the basement, right?
He did a... Yeah, over there, there's a radio station over here. Have you been there yet?
I haven't been there yet. Well, I filmed around it, but I wasn't sure if I was in the right spot. You want to direct me to the right spot?
I can show you where it's at.
Way cool. Heck yeah, dude. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll tag along here. I'm pretty sure I was in the right spot of where the old one was, because I got some old-timey pictures I was comparing. But his music of choice was so cool. I mean, Frank Zappa and all the weird, eclectic...
You know what's weird about that, too?
Okay, go ahead.
Frank Zappa guy. This is actually his card. He's not here right now. He's on vacation. But his dad was a drummer for Frank Zappa when they first started out.
No way.
Yeah.
I love the connections with Portland and all the ties. It seems like when you go down the rabbit hole and start going and looking at things and doing your homework, so much more cool Portland, not just Portland stuff, but all kinds of ties tie into it. We're all connected, whether we like it or not.
Right. So this was the building that you looked at?
So this was the newer one, right? This was...
That's the only one that I know.
Oh, okay. Because in the video, I'm pretty sure I did good on matching the shots.
Was it downstairs?
They went downstairs in the basement.
Okay.
Is there any way I could maybe creep down there and see if there's any... So this guy's going to let us in to see if we can get any old shots of where the actual, you know, the actual radio station was. There was a window at some point where he would, you know, have his records and all of his equipment, and then he said he could actually look out through that window into where the music and everything was being portrayed, you know, his studio rather. So we're gonna go in here and see if we might be able to maybe just match up some old shots or see what's changed or what hasn't. Yeah, in the video they walk right down these stairs, and I believe...
This is the laundry room now.
Is it the laundry room?
This part, but there's other spots.
Yeah. Boy, this is so cool of you. Yeah, this looks...
I'm guessing it's over in this
I'm guessing it was over in this area.
Probably like...
Probably one of these, huh? Yeah, because it was down I remember he looked out. Let me see. Is this? It looked like maybe they just changed this.
Take a look at this.
Okay.
This
This is probably what it is, he
you
says.
got these windows.
Oh,
studio.
yes, this is it, dude. This is the old studio. Oh, here it is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you are so... Oh, here's the shot, you guys. Here is the shot. And here's the studio window. Oh my God. Yes, look at you guys. Look at, that's the old studio window where he would have been. His stuff would have been here. In the shot, you would have seen this window. Oh my gosh, this is incredible. And look at, you can still see some of the writings on the walls. Here's the other studio window. Oh my gosh. And I believe all these rooms back in here where they would store, oh, maybe this was also it. So, oh yeah, so here, either on this side or the other side is where he would have set his complete studio, and he would have been able to look right out this window. And I cannot believe this guy let us in. That is so nice of him. But now I got to figure out how the heck I get back out. I think it's just right through here. But look at this. You guys can see like all the old windows with the sound ports, and oh my gosh. Look at this, you guys. You can see the 304 and they've painted it, but you can almost see some of the stuff bleeding through from when all the, like I said, all the writings were all over the walls and stuff. And it looks like this may have been where they stored the records in these shelves back in here. But that was so incredible of him to let us in. That's the old studio right there, you guys. Dr. Demento's studio. That is so awesome. Heck yeah. Okay, I think we're just back out this way. Yep. Nice. Dude, I cannot believe that, you guys. He actually let us in so we could see the studio. That was so rad. So I was way off. I thought, well, they did go down these stairs. This was the entrance that they took. And you can see this window and these stairs and everything in the shot. And what threw me off is the placard would have been right here. In the original shot, the placard would have been right there. So that was it, you guys. That is so cool. That is so cool. You know, to think since 65 too, you can totally see where that, all those ports were, the sound booth, where he would have set up his table and spun all the records right down there. That's where it all took place, you guys. Thanks again to the maintenance folks here at Reed College. You guys are incredible. Thank you so much for all the information. To anybody that I talked to today on campus, you guys have been such a help. And that was another reason what made this campus so awesome, is just all the good people and the, you know, the weirdness of Portland that ties it all in. And to think that his records were spun right down in that station there, that is so cool to me. And I'm so glad that we were able to get in there and capture that and document that. But yeah, so we were right. That's the newer station there, inside there. And right down below, down in the basement, is where Dr. Demento created all of his weirdness. I love it. All right, I gotta go thank this guy again for letting us in. Check this out. He's even got the KRRC sticker right here on the truck. Hey, bro. Thanks again, Steve. That was way cool of you, brother. Nice to meet you, too.
You too.
All right, see you again. Wow, what a nice dude to let us in and see that studio. That was so awesome. That makes it totally worth it, you know. Like, I could have edited pictures in and showed you guys that way, but to get the actual footage, you know, that's to me what is the fun part about doing this too, is to be able to document things and keep people's memories and histories and how things came about alive. So what a good dude. Thanks again, Steve. Remember him from when you were a kid? Yeah. Did you ever listen to him on the radio here in Portland? Are you a Portland native?
South of here, can be.
Oh, very cool. Did you go to Reed then? Oh, okay.
I just live near here.
But you do remember hearing his weird music? Yeah. Very cool.
But yeah, the Dr. Demento show, totally.
Heck yeah. Thank you so much for sharing. That was really nice of you. Have a good day. Nice. That was cool. She totally remembers listening to his crazy music. That's going to do it from Reed College. Appreciate you guys, as always, for tuning in and creeping with. That was really fun. I love all the ties to Portland and really the weirdness. The guy was definitely a really cool dude. In fact, he even did an episode of David Letterman, which I will insert some pictures of. He actually had one of the biggest record collections They said that it took up most of his house. He left like one little tiny room for him to sleep in over the years, but that's what made his radio stations and all his weirdness so fun, is that he was a collector of all kinds of really obscure music, including some like weird baseball albums that they would only sell at, you know, games, and just really cool albums that he brought on David Letterman and shared with him. So I love you guys very much for tuning in. As always, make sure you guys, if you did enjoy this, to give it a thumbs up. You can ring that bell, that way when I creep, you guys will be the first to creep. And stay demented. Love you guys. Creeper out for now.
Hi, your mortal enemy is on the radio.
It's time for more Dementia with Dr. Demento. And now, the funny five. Oh, every week I bring you 2 hours of mad music and crazy comedy from out of the archives and off the wall. This week we feature Alan Sherman, Bill Cosby with his new album, Howie Mandel with a bit of his, along with Frank Zappa, Eddie Murphy, and some special treasures from the archives. Some of the very best of the thousands of unreleased tapes we've received over the last 15 years. Things you'll never find in any record store or hear anywhere else on the radio. The Dr. Demento Show. You have an appointment.